Hey, this is Fear Dragon, and I am here with an awesome StarCraft streamer known as Old Column, brother of Neuro. What's up?
Dead.
All right, so apparently I killed him.
He always does that.
All right, but we're here at Blizzcon. We were just actually watching some of this awesome StarCraft games that have been going on. How has your Blizzcon experience been so far?
It's been good. I feel always very special to meet lots of familiar faces and sometimes unfamiliar ones, like, hey, I know you from stream or Twitch chat and all this, so I get to put names to faces a lot of times, which is really great. And then compared to TwitchCon, coming to BlizzCon as a StarCraft streamer, you feel more like you're well known than TwitchCon. TwitchCon this year is very much Apex, Fortnite, Teamfight Tactics, which I'm not involved in any of that, so the StarCraft community has so much passion and love, and I can really feel that at BlizzCon.
Yeah, I kind of feel like whenever I go to TwitchCon, it's like a reminder to me that the esports and the really professional, die-hard StarCraft segment that we exist in, that is still like the niche. General gaming is kind of like the predominant thing, which actually does lead me into my next thing, which is you are in this really unique role that no one else in StarCraft is in, and actually very few people on Twitch are in, where you're a Twitch ambassador. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people who have heard this now, but what does being a Twitch ambassador mean?
So Twitch Ambassador is a very new kind of offshoot that they've done. Basically, instead of highlighting the height of Twitch, which would be the streamers who pull the biggest numbers, they have the most subs, like they're the most famous, the breadth of Twitch is more of the different kinds of categories and also how streamers represent principles in their broadcasts. So that's something that I've done since day one. I wanted to be the mindset guy where I saw the premature GGs, I saw the toxicity in gaming and stuff, and I wanted to set a really good example, and that has been the most purposeful and rewarding thing about streaming this whole time. Playing the game is amazing, I love StarCraft, but really inspiring people and challenging them to be better people, that's the real take-home that I think takes gaming from just a hobby where people are escaping and spending time to a place where you can build character and find that warrior spirit within yourself. So within the ambassador program, I was kind of like the RTS esports guy who had that mindset focus, and that was the reason they brought me in. The segment so far, they haven't really defined like what exactly your jobs are as an ambassador, and most people don't even know. They're like, so if aliens come, like you talk to them for Twitch? No, basically, you set a good example. They like your principles, they like your stream, and you have some uniqueness that they don't see in other channels.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that about your channel is that you have a lot of different unique aspects of your channel that you bring even just to the StarCraft community that you don't really see. And I remember you've talked a little bit about this before in the past about kind of your history, and when you got into StarCraft, you saw that opportunity and mindset and everything, and it came a lot from your background in poker, I think you've talked about.
Yeah. Poker tilt management is very, very difficult. The difference between StarCraft and poker is that in poker, you can play a hand perfectly where your betting line from pre-flop, flop, turn, river is technically correct, and you lose the hand to someone who played really badly. That's really tough to reconcile emotionally. So for me, when I was training poker full time, I would play StarCraft so I could get a fair gaming experience. And StarCraft isn't perfectly fair. Like, it's a game that has patches, and they kind of try to review the balance. I mean, right now we see Swarm Host Nidus all over the place. Yeah. But compared to poker, StarCraft is very fair. So I saw the complaints about balance in StarCraft, and I was like, this is nothing compared to poker. That's really frustrating. So I wanted to bring a lot of that literature and lore and kind of translate that and set an example in the Road to GM for StarCraft, where tilting and being upset at stuff oftentimes just slows down your improvement and your progress. We all have limited time. People work jobs, people have studies. If you really want to hit your metrics and get diamond, get mastered, whatever, don't trip up on that tilt. Because everyone else in your league, they're feeling frustration when they lose. If you make the edge of stability and calm, and you point to your first one or two mistakes, you're accelerating and you're moving faster.
Yeah, that's a great explanation. And that's a lot of the stuff that I think you have been preaching for years now at this point in your involvement in StarCraft. Now, one of the new things that you've kind of been doing is I feel like you have diversified a little bit. You've especially had your WoW Classic stuff where you are not just playing World of Warcraft Classic, but you are role-playing, and not just role-playing in the game. You have all kinds of screens set up for whenever your character's doing voices or you have the artwork and everything. I absolutely love it. What is kind of the direction that you wanted to go with that? What prompted a lot of these choices?
So the inspiration with the classic WoW and the RP is storytelling. I think that the storylines of like StarCraft Pros is really interesting. With the Warcraft universe, most people are aware of what the basic elements are. You've got orcs, trolls, elves, humans, dwarves, like all the standard stuff that you understand. And then with role-playing, you can create a character that represents certain aspects of yourself. So my WoW character is Bronze half a ton Mistrunner, and he's a Torn warrior. So he's like really big, masculine, kind of leader archetype guy. Not the smartest, but he's bold, and he tries to respect his friends and build a strong team. So that's kind of like channeling aspects of myself into a character that I think is entertaining to watch. It's exciting. And then we actually discovered something. I discovered something about brain science on accident. I laddered role-playing as Brunt. So I'm playing StarCraft as Brunt, and I go up 120 or some odd MMR on my main account, which is like, shouldn't that impede your progress if you're doing a voice and like trying to entertain? And then Cobra Venom, got to shout out him, he Discord messages me 2 scholarly papers about how having a confident, powerful stance or using a commanding, kind of aggressive voice can increase your confidence and performance. So Brunt is a performance-enhancing act.
That's amazing. So what you're saying is, when I cannon rush people, not necessarily in game, but I should shout screaming and shouting at my opponent and kind of trying to intimidate them to work myself up to boost my own confidence.
Yeah, I mean, cannon rushing is a very serious business. You should take that with the utmost sincerity.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome, and that is really, really cool to hear. So what kind of projects do you have in mind for the future and everything? I feel like you are very thoughtful about a lot of the work that you do, and I know you put a lot of thought into like not just here's what I'm going to do or here's like the project, but here's like the reason of why this is going to be like good, or here's like some of the philosophy of behind it.
Yeah, well, I made a pretty major mistake this year in terms of my mindset, because as streamers we feel that pressure to grow, where we want to have more average concurrence than we had before. We want to have a higher sub count than we had before. And the War Chest promotion early of this year, my metrics were way up, and I started to self-identify as 1,000 viewer streamer, which that's not what I'm about. That's not why I started the stream, and that's not really my goal, but I kind of got like pulled into that mindset. And then once my metrics dropped off when it was over, it was kind of like, am I doing something wrong? Why did I not retain these viewers and this kind of thing? And a lot of times people just tune in, they get the XP, and then they go, and that's fine. The thing that I kind of got back to was the human-to-human interpersonal relationship of, there's so much good content on the internet, there's so many good shows on TV. If you choose to watch me with your eyes and your ears, that is a massive choice, and I'm very honored that you've done that. And I was thinking about it in terms of content instead of growth. So instead of me wanting to grow, I want to think about the best possible content that I can make that's going to be the most valuable to the viewership. So I'm doing stuff like philosophy talks now. It's not going to up my viewership. I don't care, because the conversation is valuable. We do politics and current events on Sundays, where we have a very neutral expert that I bring on. We try to have it as unbiased as possible. If there is bias, we try to point it out, because it's hard to find stuff that isn't too partial, that isn't just trying to push your emotional buttons. And then bringing on other people for conversations in the podcasts. We have a new microphone, mixer, cloud lifter, like all of the different quality stuff has been redone. And that's really exciting for me, because I really appreciate that like audio fidelity, and I've fallen behind. I mean, I used a Blue Yeti for 6 years. It's a good microphone. It's fine. If you want to get started streaming, Blue Yeti, you're good to go. But enough's enough. Like, we're doing better stuff now. Cobra Venom helped me set it up, and then the community helped kind of crowdsource that fund for everything. So more podcast episodes, and then my book, which I wrote, I'm going to do as an audiobook. So I'll be reading that. Yeah.
And where can people find that book until you record it as an audiobook?
So I just moved that. It used to be $10 on my Patreon. Now it's $1. I just want to make it as accessible as possible. I know some people are college students. They don't have a ton of money. So if that would help you, it's called The Path, A Gamer's Guide to Mastery. And basically what it intends to do is articulate what that process of improving at games is like, and how to break apart the different aspects that cause people to trip and stumble, and give them some sense of direction, basically. So Bruce Lee put it really well. He's not a teacher, he's a signpost to a traveler who is lost. So by virtue of me going into the StarCraft ladder and seeing what that's like and making the mistakes myself, that's a way of articulating the journey to save people time and give them some courage and initiative in their own path.
I absolutely love that. And just somewhat unrelated, I love that the way you also talk about the projects and stuff that your channel is going to be going through as like we. And I don't think you mean it as the royal we. You actually have like a real community on your stream and everything. It's not just I'm here doing stuff and people listen to it. It's really like a community.
Well, my most recent blog post is titled For the Team. And there have been some broadcasters, not going to name drop, where they'll kind of grandstand about how I built an empire for myself and it's all me. Where I think of the people who, when I was barely making enough to do this, and I said that, they pick up the slack and they carry me through that. Or the people who believed in me before I was a big channel and they still hang out. Or the people who help with the audio setup, like Cobra Venom. I have an editor, Cobra X now, who he highlights my stuff and we get it to YouTube, saved me tons of time. Guy Tom made my website. A power supply I have on my computer, Tebow shipped it to me. Like, I have all this stuff that's been a collaborative team effort because people believe in this content and they like it. So I can't honestly say that this is all me. This is a community effort. And that's the beauty of, I think, content creation on Twitch and YouTube is so much of it is grassroots, where it's the individual deciding to sponsor the project as opposed to me like talking to companies and trying to get them to sponsor me.
Absolutely. And this actually leads really well into us kind of closing things out because there's a lot of good StarCraft going on in there, Austin, and I know you want to be there as well. But do your shout-outs, but also I always ask everyone, you can either choose one of two options after your shout-outs. You can either tell us something that 95% of people don't know about you, or you can do a call out where you call someone out. Your choice.
Like, as in you call out something that they're doing wrong? Or
it could be like a friendly call out. Like, I could be like, hey, Livy B, I think bees are stupid and hornets are better. Like, or it could be like, hey, I don't know, Neeb, like, I bet you I could beat you on the ladder. Let's best of 7. Like, it could be whatever you want in that regard. Or you could do the 95% of people don't know this about you.
Okay.
You could start with shout-outs, though, which I feel like you were already starting to do.
Yeah, well, I wanted to give some shout-outs to the people of the scene who comment on Reddit posts, the people who comment on a YouTube video, they upvote stuff, they're on Twitter just being active, like liking your stuff or replying to your stuff, or they're in Twitch chat just carrying the conversation. That, like, the person in the scene that keeps it alive and keeps that energy going, you don't get the spotlight as much as you deserve. I think of you. I'm very thankful for how loving and appreciative this community is. So yeah, basically the people, I think, in StarCraft are really what drives it. And that's what keeps this scene stable as well, because there's been the whole dead game meme for a long time, but we've demonstrated stability because our passion for StarCraft is stable. So,
awesome.
The good people of the scene. Hell yeah.
All right, well, still got to do your 95% people don't know this about you fact or a call out. It's your choice.
Okay. Things that people don't know about me. Well, a project that I just started, and this kind of reflects the way that I built my stream. I haven't had a consistent sleep schedule since university, and that's been about almost 10 years at this point. So I'm trying a new thing where I'm trying to wake up with the sun. My window is open, so it shines in on me in the morning, and the effort for this is to have more focus and clarity and speed with me getting up and online in the morning. Because if you think about your 24-hour cycle, how efficient are you, like, leveraging that physical energy? Everyone can do better, I can do better, and that's the project that you don't see, like, on stream, but the struggle of me, like, in the morning, that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to build a good rhythm for myself. I moved to Seattle, so I'm trying to have a new, fresh chapter where I take a full pass at my life and try to make that better.
That's great, and I love that you use moving to Seattle in this example as the sun shining in, because we both know that only sometimes happens.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Neuro, for coming on, and thank you guys for sticking around. We'll see you guys in the next one.